onto the blocks and shift our hips back, forehead towards the floor, and just take a few breaths here. One of the reasons why I love doing child's pose this way is there is an upper back opening in case it's a little bit on the tight side already. And then as you breathe into the belly, you just feel a little more release happening into the low back. As we come into our Saturday morning, one more breath here. Now, come up onto your fingertips, press into your fingertips. Your palms are away from the blocks, and you'll feel that activate all the way into the underarms, all the way to the wrists. Pull back on the fingertips and just let the chest lift. And just notice as we've activated those muscles, how we can increase not only our strength, but our range of motion here. And take a few breaths here. So it's always important to breathe, especially at the beginning of class, to establish a deeper connection and not just move our bodies wildly about the world, but with a little more awareness from where the movement's coming from on a physical level, but also the energetics and the emotional level, a little more deeply within. So take a few more breaths here. Your arms might be starting to fatigue a little bit, but just recognize the mental state that you're in this morning, the emotional state that you're in this morning, as well as the energetic state and the physical state. Now, I have my 8 ounces of energy over there in the corner of my yoga mat, but we all have the ability to access more internal energy as we continue to practice yoga. All right, let's release those arms. Hallelujah. Come back up onto our hands and knees now and shift our hips from side to side. And then let's come into cat-cow. Inhale forward and exhale round. And then walk your knees a little bit wider and once again shift from side to side. And now shift all the way to the left. And as you shift to the left, can you pay attention to the inner adductor muscles, the groin area of the right leg? So even though our left outer hip is working, so is the inner right leg. Take a breath here. And then round your back like a cat and go over to the other side into your cow position and notice the same thing on this side. Your right hip flexors are working, so you have shifted to the right, but also the inner left thigh. So rarely do our legs operate independently when it comes to their connection to the pelvis. So now let's take that full motion as we round the back again, go to the left, and then find your cow position as you come through center. Round the back again as you go to the left, cow position as you swing back through center and over to the right. And take your time and enjoy this movement as you begin to pay more attention to the upper back area. And then reverse the direction. Now you're also paying attention to the wrist and the arms. So as you shift into the other direction, Virginia, pay attention to what's going on in the wrist. Same with you, Katie, because you're also shifting from side to side. Let the upper body shift as much as the lower body is shifting and do just a few more. Come back up onto our hands and knees now. Let's bring our toes under, press both palms in, and let the knees hover. So with the knees hovering, can you feel the access to both sides of those hip flexors? Feel the stems of the toes, shoulders drop down. Paying attention to the physical, of course. This requires a little more strength. And now shift back halfway a little bit more and feel how the tension on the wrist has shifted. So now you're pressing more forward and less directly into the yoga mat. So there's less tension on the wrists. Squeeze legs a little bit more towards midline, and now slowly straighten the legs into a full-blown downward facing dog, and take 4 breaths here, please. Now you'll notice the shoulders, and maybe you can relax the shoulders down the back of the spine. Now you'll notice the neck. Maybe you can relax the head between your arms. And then inhaling the heels up, let's come all the way up as high as we can on those tippy toes, and exhale, lower the heels down. Send those quads up into your hip sockets and your hamstrings towards the back of the room. So the front of the thighs are drawing up. Backs of the thighs are pressing towards the back of the room. And then again, inhale, lift up. See if you can still keep that same awareness of the hamstrings and quadriceps. Exhale, lower down. 2 more. Inhale, both heels up, come as high as you can. Exhale, lower down as you lift the thighs and the backs of the thighs. Draw the bellies in for a little extra support. And last one, feel how your dog is opening. And then looking forward, lift those heels all the way up. Keep the shoulders down the back body. Come forward, full plank. And notice how the tension on the wrist now has just increased tenfold. You're directly over the wrist. So if you need to slide a blanket underneath your wrists or come onto your fists or come onto your forearms, please do for 6 more breaths. Now, yes, we're paying attention to the physical, but as we begin to feel the heat rise, come into that mental state. Come into the emotional state. What about the energetic state? Can you find a little more energy to press those legs up towards the sky? And then lower down the knees. Cross the right shin over the left calf and shift back as you massage a little bit of the left calf. You can rock forward and back. You can come onto your fingertips. You can even reach around and take the left palm and glide it down the back of the calf towards the ankle, massaging into what is known in the yoga world as the second heart. Katie, Lynn Weinberger taught me that, the teacher that Judith likes, who is still teaching, by the way. And then back up onto your hands and knees. Let's switch to the other side. So now your left shin is on top of your right calf. And again, sliding up and down. You might notice an increase in your inhalation and a little more relaxation around the jaw. And then back up onto your hands and knees. Let's swing the legs around. Come onto our backs. Now you're welcome to use the straps or not. Bring your feet to the floor now and press both feet in, lengthen through the lower back. Release the right knee towards your chest as you press into your left foot. Extend the right leg towards the sky, back to your chest. We're going to do our 180 pelvic world tour. Out to the right, back to the chest, up towards the sky, back to the chest. So on the exhale, draw the belly in as you flex through that foot. So really activate the quads and hamstrings. So you're exhaling when the leg extends. Now notice any pops or noises that your joints are making. Pay attention to them and maybe slightly adjust the position of the joint or the leg. See if you can alleviate some of that. Nothing to be too concerned about. And now straighten the left leg as you extend the right leg up towards the sky, back to your chest, roll over to your left side and extend. Bring it back to your chest, roll to your right side and extend. So now this left leg stays nice and strong, left foot is nice and flexed, and it rolls to the center as you extend the right leg to the right, rolls to the left as you extend the left leg to the left. And we'll do one more. Now you'll all be at various degrees of knee bending, etc. So work to your level of ability. Stay with this right leg over towards the left side now. See if you can visualize stacking your right hip over your left. Might not be possible for you, but feel the rotation in the upper body. This is basically our first spinal twist. Draw the belly in. Now you can always slide a blanket or a block underneath that right knee if this is too much of a torque or a tweak or a stretch into your hips. As you exhale now, tap your toe towards the floor and lift it up, the heel towards the sky. Inhale, tap, exhale up. Now, as if you were tiptoeing towards the top of your mat, towards your left arm, keep tiptoeing and hopping that right toe up, and then tiptoe it, hop it back down. Keep the bellies lifted towards the left leg. Do about 8 times and then do it one more time. 8 times, lift up towards that left arm. Slow it down. Maybe 10 times. Begin to feel the work in the outer hip. Good, all the way down and then come back up about shoulder height. Exhale, draw the bellies in, reach the right leg back up towards the sky. Bend the right knee, let the right knee come out to the right side, like you're standing in tree pose almost on your back here. Feel the belly draw to the back body, tuck the shoulder blades under. Now we're going to work the adductors, those inner groins. Extend the right leg out and keep the right knee out as you bend the right knee back in. So it's like you're kicking your inner left thigh. Exhale, straighten, inhale, bend. Now the challenge is to keep this left hip down. You can use your hand. You can use a sandbag, or better yet, use your abdominals. How nice to have a really clean industrial ceiling, Leanne. Usually you can see like dust bunnies up there. Anyway, you guys will see it when you come. One more, exhale. Now take a moment to check in with the mental and see if, does it make sense for me to keep my right leg straight to bring it up towards the sky, or should I bend the knee to support my lower back a little more? Take an exhalation now and slowly, your choice, bring the leg up or knee bent and bring it right back towards your chest. Draw the right knee towards your chest. Extend the right leg forward to meet the left. Both arms up. Take a nice breath in. Exhale, HA, arms down by your side. Jiggle it out and just feel. Good morning. Saturday morning on your right leg. Let's do the left side. Bending both knees, bring the left knee towards your chest as you continue to press into that right foot. You could feel the stretch in the lower back. And then straighten the left leg towards the sky. Bend it back out to the left. Back in, up towards the sky. Remember, you're extending on the exhale. Now listen to those pops. I really want you to hear what's going on, feel what's going on, and make adjustments as necessary. And if you don't know how to make adjustments, you explore. How else do we ever get anywhere, right? We have to take that first step and explore. All right, now let's extend the right leg forward. Keep that right leg nice and stable. And now we're going to take the left leg all the way over towards the right, bypass through center and out towards the left. Inhale all the way through towards the right and back to center. So we're starting working with twists now in the lower part of the body, opening up into that sacrum area while keeping it stable. Building strength in the quads and in the hip flexors. Let's do 2 more, and then we'll keep this left leg all the way over towards the right. Remember that right leg is your kickstand, nice and stable. Now extend this left leg all the way over towards the right. Likely it'll feel different than the left side. See if you can visually stack your left hip over your right, and then point your left toe towards the floor like you're dipping it, you're tiptoeing onto the floor. And then slowly lift it up, maybe 2 or 3 inches. Continuing the big toe towards the floor, the heel towards the sky. As you exhale, lift the heel up. Inhale, drop it down. Exhale, up. Inhale, down. So you're walking it up towards the top of the mat, towards that right hand, and then down. Feel the abdominals lift and tone to provide a little additional support. Now, when I get people into this class next week, you guys will be hearing a little bit more of the basics of yoga, so I can ascertain how, how much knowledge this group has. But it's always good to go back to the basics. So go ahead, about 10 more, bring it back up towards that right fingertip. And one of the basics is using the core muscles sustainably. So it's not just a crunch. It's something that you can slowly draw up and in to provide support for all your postures, not just when you do sit-ups. And then let's walk that left toe up about halfway. Again, you decide, straight leg or bent leg. Draw the bellies in, stabilize the bottom right leg. Exhale, bring this left leg back up towards the sky. And then bend the left knee towards your chest and bring the left knee out to the side with the left foot inside your right leg, like you're in a tree pose, laying on your back. But now we're just going to work the adductors, the inner muscles of the left leg. So belly's in, right hip is down, either with your hand or a sandbag. Draw the left knee up and straighten the left leg out as you exhale. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. This is always a good time to give your jaw a little massage. Keep breathing. You'll notice one side may feel a little stronger than the other. Yeah, I'm looking into the screen and I do look a little tiny, Lilliputian. Let's do about 3 more. Really activate that right back of the hamstring. Even with that tiny knee bend, Katie, you can feel you're strengthening into that right back of the leg. And now, decide, straight leg, bent knee, keep the bellies lifted, right hip down, right leg active, right foot flexed. Exhale, bring that left leg back up towards center. Bend the left knee towards the chest. Go ahead and draw it up. You can bring your nose up towards your knee if you like. And lower down, straighten the left leg and feel. So now both legs are awake. We've got this nice carpeted floor here. So let your legs come wide. Feel the inner groins. And then jiggle your legs back towards center and squeeze and feel your buttocks almost roll underneath your bottom. And then release, bend both knees, bring both feet to the floor, arms down by your side. Legs are awake. Press your feet into the floor, lift the hips up. Now let's stabilize. Squeeze legs towards midline, reach the arms up overhead. Opening up the neck and upper back a little more. As you lower the hips down, drop the right arm down, head to the right. Press into the feet firmly. Scoop the hips up, arms come back to center. Exhale, lower down, head to the left. Inhale up. So take your time. Yes, of course, notice the physical strength required to lift the hips up. Using quads, hamstrings, hip flexors, which include your psoas. You're going to experience that in a moment. But also, notice the sensations on an energetic level. You guys can let me know if you hear much traffic noise. That just happened to be a motorcycle, but I don't notice it much. Good, both arms up, both hips lifted, both feet pressing firmly into the floor. Interlace the fingertips now and press the palms. Let the shoulders shrug up. As the shoulders shrug up, feel that middle area of the upper back slightly lower down. Scoop up the belly so the belly hollows out between the pelvic bones. Take a breath here, drop the chin down, and then slowly lower the back all the way down. Bring the right knee and the left knee towards your chest and rock from side to side. You can let the knees float away and come back, giving that whole sacrum area a little massage. Now, your lower part of the body is ready to rock and roll. So now let's finish up with accessing the psoas, and then we'll work on the twists. Reach for the right outer foot now. Keep your left foot onto the floor, left knee bent. Now feel the external rotation in your right hip. So you're rotating your right toe out to the right. It's aligned nicely with your knee, and your hip is externally rotated as well. Reach for the outside if you can and draw this right knee down towards the floor. Now your left buttock and hip might lift, and that's fine. You're just going to take a few breaths here as you slowly bend and straighten, but I want you to work that external rotation into the hip. Now you'll notice this is a little bit of a reddish flag, maybe a pink flag for your sacrum, right? Because we're asymmetrically moving. It's a little bit of a bound pose. So you can decide which works best for you. Since you're lifting your left hip up, it's a little safer. That's why it's pink and not completely red. But wait, there's more. So once you've gotten that right knee down towards the floor now, see if you can straighten it. And then bend. And then straighten that right leg. My left hip is still lifted and bent. Keeping the external rotation now, roll your left hip down, bring your right outer foot onto the left thigh. Through the rotation of the hip, you can take your right hand and glide it into that hip socket as you rotate it. So it's taking the stress off the knee, bringing the left foot on top of the right thigh. Now, of course, we come to thread the needle. Reaching in between, take a few breaths here, and keep externally rotating that right hip into the hip socket. You can draw the nose up if you like, but what's better is if you draw your chest up. So you keep the back of the neck nice and long. And then as you lower down, bring the left foot back onto the floor, arms out from your shoulders. Press into your left foot. Lift your hips slightly, just enough to rock your hips to the right. Place them to the right about 2 inches. And then drop your left knee down towards the left, right foot towards the left, and see if you can keep this right knee pressing up towards the sky. So the outer right ankle is pressing into the top of your left thigh, but now you're twisted towards the left. Reaching the right arm out to the right. Can you rotate your head and your upper body towards the right as you keep pressing this right knee towards the ceiling through the external rotation of the hip? So keep your knees safe. Again, only move to your level of ability. One more breath here. Notice as you breathe, that right knee can open up a little bit more. So you're pressing the thigh into the ankle, ankle into the thigh. And then slowly release. Come onto your left side, left arm underneath your ear. Stack right knee on top of left knee, both feet bent. Knees in straight alignment with your hips all the way up to your shoulders. So your feet are behind you. Stack your ankles. Let's do a few clam shells here, keeping the ankles together. Open. Feel that right buttock. Squeeze and lower. Exhale up. So Katie, this is a perfect opportunity to get one of those stretchy bands and really work the hips. But again, here's an asymmetrical movement, but it's really digging right into the areas around the sacrum. Let's do one more. Good. And then using your core muscles now, exhale, slide the knees to your chest and roll all the way onto your back and rock from side to side. Let's do the other side. Right foot onto the floor. You may need to recenter yourself onto the mat. I've got this perfect pipe right in front of me to keep me centered, right on the ceiling, on this very clean ceiling. Press the right foot into the floor now and reach out and find your outer left heel as you externally rotate this left hip. Now, as I've been practicing this through the last several days, I'm noticing how I rely on my knee on one side to rotate, as opposed to really working the hip muscle. So let your hip rotate towards the left. Draw the left knee down to the outside of your left shoulder. Keep the right foot on the floor and see if you can reach that left knee towards the floor and then straighten the left leg. Keep externally rotating, bend and straighten. I have been very pleased since I got my osteoarthritis diagnosis in my hips that I've been able to reduce inflammation and regain pretty much almost 100% of my range of motion. I'm really happy about that. So it's possible. Let's do one more here. So you're really letting that right hip lift to get this left knee down, still externally rotating the left leg. Now bend the left knee, externally rotate that, and then reach around with your right hand, take your left foot over on top of the right thigh. Take the time to shift the left hip forward, and then place the left foot on top of the right thigh, thread the needle on this side. Now, when I come into my letter 4 in this sequence, I get a much deeper stretch in my hips, so maybe you'll have that same experience. Take a breath in. You can draw your chest up towards your knee. Keep your foot flexed, so keep those knees happy. Ronnie, I hope your hips are happy. I'm just happy you guys showed up. And as you lower down now, keep the foot glued to that thigh, arms out from your shoulder. Press into your right foot. Hover the hips just enough to slide the hips to the left about 2 inches, and then drop your outer right knee to the floor. Your left foot stays hooked on top of the right thigh, and feel that external rotation. Take a few breaths here. Now I'm massaging my IT band on the outside of my left thigh. This left thigh doesn't want to go as far, so I'm just coaxing it along. Reach your left arm out, rotate the head to the left, chest to the left, and breathe. So keep pressing that outer left heel into the top of the right thigh and rotate. So this whole little sequence here for this first half hour has really been less on the upper body, working into the mobility of the hips. And now we'll take the second part and work into the upper body twist now that the lower body is supple enough and stable enough and strong enough. So you can certainly practice this independently or do it together. And then as you exhale, unwind. Now you're going to roll onto your right side as you uncross your left leg. Stack both knees on top of one another. Make sure your knees are in a straight line from your hips and your shoulders. Your left hand can come in front for support. Flex both feet, and now keeping the inner heels and big ball mounts together, let's do some clam shells. Exhale up. Squeeze into this outer left buttock. You can see it on this side. Inhale, lower down. Exhale up. Squeeze. Inhale down. Ronnie, can you marvel at the range of motion you have now? Let's do a few more. And drawing the belly in. One more. Good. Lower down. Keep your feet flexed. Exhale. Feel the belly muscles. Bring those knees back up to your chest and come onto your back. Now grab both outer heels. Rocking from side to side in happy baby. Feel the external rotation, and the feet in alignment with the knees might make more sense to grab on the inner arches now. Feel more the external rotation as you equally rock from side to side. Maybe you have a different experience now of happy baby pose. And then release that. Bring the knees together. Draw the nose or chest up towards both knees. As you lower down, straighten the legs up overhead. Exhale again as you bend the knees, and bend the knees, roll up. Exhale, roll back. And let's do a few rock and rolls. Now let's roll, crossing at the ankles, onto our hands and knees, toes under, downward facing dog, or you can stay on hands and knees, Virginia. Draw the bellies up and in. Feel the hips. Shift the weight to the left foot. Let's do some bird dog here and see how our hips feel. Extend the right leg back up towards the sky, whether you're on your knees or in your full down dog. Drop the shoulder blades down. Draw the bellies up and in. Look forward. As you exhale, draw the knee to the chest. Keep the gaze forward. Inhale up and back. Exhale to your outer right shoulder. Inhale up. Now rotate under. Do your left elbow. Again, to the chest, to the outer right, and underneath. Feel the fluidity. And one more. Chest, outer right, and outer left. And up. Keep the right leg lifted, bend the right knee, open up to the right side as you wrap the left hip around the back, and then parallel the hips, straighten the right leg, come forward, full plank, lower down knees and chest or chaturanga. Bring both arms down by your sides, forehead to the floor. Now walk your feet equal distance from one another, a little bit wider than hips. Coming into a full Shalabhasana. So as we were working the lower part of the body, we were also strengthening the back body. Arms down by your side, extend through both legs, draw the bellies up and in. As you inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades and arms lift, head lift, chest lift, legs lift. Breathe here. Now get long. Those shoulder blades can drop down maybe another 2 inches. Roll your buttocks in towards one another, and now externally rotate your hips into the sockets. Feet flex out like a little duck. And then lower down. Sweep your arms forward, and then bend your elbows as you place one palm on top of the other. Feet stay out like a duck. Coming into Crocodile Pose or Malasana, press the forehead into the floor, lift the ribs, pubic bone descends downwards, and pull back on the forearms. Breathe here. You can feel the core muscles working. Breathe deeply into your belly. You're also releasing your lower back. Feel the stretch through the back of the neck and release that. Lower down. Walk your legs back, hip distance apart, toes under, hands underneath your shoulders. Shift up and back, down dog, or onto hands and knees. Bird dog on this side. Shift the weight to the right, extend the left leg up as you inhale. Exhale to your chest. Inhale up. Exhale to your outer left shoulder, tricep up. Underneath towards the right elbow. Again, 2 more times. Feel the mobility in the hips. And underneath. And one more. Notice not just the physical, but now as we come back up, bend the left knee, open up the left hip. Take an extra breath here to wrap the right thigh around the back side. And then parallel the hips. Straighten the left leg, lower the left foot down. Bend the knees and step or hop to the front of the mat. Inhale halfway up, hands onto your shins. Exhale, forward fold. Second time, inhale. And exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, hug a tree, Utkatasana, but feel the strength from the waist down. Shift the weight to your left foot. Lift the right heel as you exhale. Draw the right knee up. Now you can stay here or reach underneath your right thigh. Slowly come to standing, straightening the left leg, flex the right foot, extend the right leg forward. Keep the bellies lifted. Release the hands, reach the arms up. Exhale, lower the arms and the right leg down. Tadasana, stand, feel. Sweep the arms wide and up, inhale, and we'll do that on the other side. Exhale, arms forward, forward fold. So Virginia, we're getting a little more challenging here. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward. Bend the knees, Utkatasana again, arms forward. So focusing on the lower body, but now beginning to transition to the upper body. Feel the stability from the waist down. Shift the weight to the right, lift the left heel. Draw the bellies in. Slowly, you can stay here or lift this left knee. Release the hands, bring them underneath the left thigh, and slowly straighten the right leg as you extend the left leg straight forward. Parallel the hips. Release the arms up towards the sky as you inhale. Feel that left quad work. Exhale, lower the arms and the left leg down. Tadasana. Sweep the arms wide and up. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knee, step back with your right foot. High lunge. Walk your left foot at an angle out to the left side. Let's come into lizard. Forearms onto the floor. Glide the left hip back. So now you can really feel that nice release. Lower the right knee to the floor or onto a blanket. Flatten the right foot. Walk the hands up. Bring the right hand onto a block or onto the floor. Both shoulders back. Reach the left arm up and just rotate towards the left. Now, without rolling over your knee this time, flex that back foot and see if you can glide this left hip back. You can bend the knee, but nah, let's not. Maybe you can straighten the bottom leg. And now I'm on the outside of my right foot, outside of my left foot. Left arm up, left arm over. That's all hip work, upper body work. Reach the left hand down. Rotate the straight right bottom left foot. Bring the right toe under. Both hands onto the floor. Step back, plank. Back, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward, full plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Feel those thighs work. Exhale, down dog. Bend the knee, step or hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up again. Feel those leg bones set into the sockets. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees all the way to standing inhale. Exhale, arms forward, forward fold. Bend the knees, step back with your left foot. High lunge. And then walk your right foot to the edge, outer edge, so you're at an angle. Lizard lunge. Glide the right hip back. So you're really almost onto your right pinky toe anyway. Bring your forearms down onto the floor. The left knee can be on the floor, or you can straighten it as you lift the left knee, gliding back with that right heel. Feel that external rotation, and then walk your left hand underneath your shoulder. I like it on a block. Lower my left knee down, or your left knee down. Flatten the left foot, because that's going to all rotate as one unit. Reaching the right arm forward, up and back. Begin to feel this right hip glide back. Flex the bottom foot. Reach the right arm towards the back of the room. My left shoulder blade is still down the back body. And then press into the outer left leg. Lift the hip like a one-legged plank. Keep gliding the right hip back and reach the right arm overhead. Breathe here. Keep that left shoulder blade down the back body. Feel the work in the hips. And then lower the right hand down. Slowly flatten the left foot as you pivot back to center. Walk the right foot back, hands to the floor. Left toe under, elevate the left knee and step back into your plank. Inhale here. Exhale back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, forward full plank. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, back, down dog. Beautiful, Virginia. Take about 3 breaths here. And then slowly bend your knees as you inhale. Lift the heels. Now try to hop forward. Lift the hips towards the sky. Maybe your feet will come a little more forward because of the availability of flexibility. And a forward fold. Now let's take both feet at an angle, close to the front of the mat. We're going to do our infamous Malasana to Navasana. Before we bend our knees, pull your heels energetically towards one another. Feel that lift into the knees and the quads. Draw the bellies up and in. Now lift the heels. Bend the knees. Another way of coming into Malasana. Feel the openness into the hips. Much easier, I'm hoping. Palms together. Elbows to the inner knees. Shorter arms come up onto your fingertips. Breathe here. Draw the bellies in. Let's work into the upper back. Sweep the left arm down onto the floor, almost so the left knee is into that outer left armpit. Reach the right arm up. Squeeze into that upper back. Rotate your head towards the floor and then bring your hands back into prayer, sliding the back of the arms up. Exhale, reach your right arm down. Slide your right arm almost to your knee, so your armpit towards your inner knee. Reach the left arm up. And then rotate just your head towards the right hand. Draw the bellies in. Bring the hands back to prayer. Elbows in. Now keep the bellies lifted, almost like you're coming into a cat stretch as you shift your weight back or you reach your hand behind you to soften the landing. Extend both legs up, both arms wide. Now bend your knees. Take your peace fingers, index finger and middle finger, and slide them between your big toe and your second toe. Tuck this left outer heel right in front of the middle of your body as you shift your weight forward. So your left knee is bent. You're going to straighten your right leg all the way out to the right side and up. And then begin to bring this right leg forward. Now, if you can't get a hold of your big toe with your index finger, you can always use your strap. Then reach your left hand underneath your right wrist and grab the outside of your right foot. Release the right arm up towards the sky behind you. Prop your spine up like a kickstand. by coming onto your fingertips and tucking the right shoulder blade back. So your right leg is forward, your right hand is in the back side of your body. Now swinging this left leg over towards the left, look towards the right. See if you can get right into that upper middle thoracic. Breathe here. Carve this belly over the right thigh. And then rotate your head back towards your left leg. Bend your left elbow to lift this right leg up. Torso rotates back to center. Externally rotate the right hip as you place the right outer ankle on top of the left inner thigh. So now you're in a half lotus, or probably a half lotus. Or you can bring your right foot forward and let your arms come forward and stretch through the low back. See if you can keep your feet flexed. And then slide the hands back. We're going to do the other side, but first let both hands come behind you. So you can shift behind the sits bones as you inhale. Exhale, uncross those legs, extend them up. Navasana. And then once again, index finger, middle finger between big toe and second toe. You can also bend your knees here or grab a strap. Other side now, externally rotate the right leg, bend the right knee, and tuck that right heel right into the groin, right into the perineum actually, as it lays onto the floor. Shift your weight forward and take your left leg out to the left. Now bring your right hand behind you. I did something wrong here. No, that's right. Bring your right hand behind you and find a little bit of stability there as you lift your chest forward and your left leg comes out to the left. And then as you exhale, draw the belly in. Begin to swing your left leg towards center and over towards the right as you reach your right hand underneath your left wrist, hook to the outside of your left foot. Now release your left arm up behind you and rotate towards the left as that left foot sweeps towards the right. Keep this left shoulder blade under. Keep the chest lifted. Keep the crown of the head extending towards. Beautiful, Virginia. Take one more breath, and you're carving your belly over that left thigh, and then draw the bellies in. Now begin to bend your left knee. Keep the external rotation as you rotate your torso towards the front. Make sure your knee is happy. Keep that left foot flexed. Now feel the external rotation happen into the left hip, and see if you can place the left heel on top of the right thigh. If that's not going to work for you, bring it in front. Lift the chest forward and up, and then walk your hands forward into deeper forward fold. And then lift the chest forward, come on up. Let yourself rock behind your sits bones, hands behind you. Uncross the legs. Bring both feet together now in Baddha Konasana. Let them come a little more forward. Reach for your ankles, lift the chest forward. And now reach your chest in between those feet. So your feet are not right into your groin, they're a little more forward. Keep them flexed in alignment with your knees. And now lift the chest forward on up. We'll do one more thing before coming onto our backs. Extend the left leg forward. Janu Shirshasana. Right foot to the inner left groin, or perhaps you can find this external rotation and bring the right foot on top of the left thigh. Reach the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, reach the arms forward, forward fold, cross the right wrist over the left. Now keep this right foot flexed, keep the left thigh engaged. Make sure that's okay for your knee. And now straighten the arms as you lift the chest. Keep your left hand to the outside of that, or to your foot. Reach the right arm out to the right. Breathe here. Now squeeze into that upper back area once again. Keep the upper back rotating towards the right. Rotate the head towards the left. And then sweep the right arm up. Bring it back over. Forward fold. Release the hands. Bring the hands behind you. Bend the left knee. Uncross both legs. This time, Navasana with wide legs. Hook onto your toes. Lift the chest. This is a balancing act, supported by your core muscles lifting up. Chest lifts. There's a slight pelvic tilt forward, but the bellies are countering that pose by lifting up so you don't fall completely forward. Smile. Stick out your tongue. And then bend both knees once again. Come into Baddha Konasana, but the feet are a little more forward. Forward fold. And then lift your chest forward and up. Let's Janu Shirshasana on the left side. Straighten the right leg. Bring the left foot into the inner right thigh, or find this external rotation into the hip. Keep the left foot flexed and bring this left foot on top of the right thigh. Now, if you notice, my left thigh is tighter. So the tendency is for me to blob the right foot out to the right and to straighten and point my left foot. So that says to me that this is too much. So I'm going to keep my left foot to the inside. Keep the right foot pointing towards the ceiling. Keep the external rotation in the hip and keep the knee safe. Reach both arms forward and up as you inhale. Exhale, reach arms forward and down. Now cross the left wrist over the right, forward fold. Breathe here. And then straightening the arms, lift the chest and release the left arm only out to the left. Rotate to the left. Feel the squeeze in the upper back body on the left side. And rotate just the head forward as you continue to twist the upper body to the left. And then sweep the left arm up by your left ear, back to forward fold. Deepening that forward fold. Slide the hands back as you inhale. Shift behind your sits bones, bend both knees, grab both toes. Navasana, wide-legged. Once again, make this a balancing act. And then let the feet come together. Release the hands, arms up towards the sky. Press into the gas as you press through your toes. Bend your knees, bring your hands onto the floor. Let's scoot our bum to the front of the mat and lower down onto our backs. Let's bring our knees to the chest. Arms out like a letter T, and drop your knees to the left as you rotate more easily the upper torso towards the right. Take a breath in and a breath out. And then let the bellies lift, draw the knees back to center, and drop your knees to the right, look to the left. Breathe here. About 3 breaths. Yes, feel the physical, but notice how your mental state now is, your emotional state. Draw the bellies in, exhale, bring the knees back up to center. Bring the knees back towards your chest, feet onto the floor. Press your feet in, lift the hips up. Bridge pose, walk your fingertips to the inside of your feet. Squeeze shoulder blades together. Now feel this deep, energetic integration. Hips are open, upper back is open. Get a nice stretch in the back of the neck as the nose points towards the sky. And then release the hands. Let's lower down vertebra by vertebra. Bring our feet together, knees wide for a few breaths here in our Supta Baddha Konasana. And then as you press your feet in towards one another, feel that lower back lengthen and let the knees float back up to center. Bring the right knee and the left knee back towards your chest. Let's do 3 Apanasana. Arms straighten on the inhale. Knees float away. Exhale, draw the bellies in, elbows bend, stretch through the low back. 2 more times. We've been playing with the sacred sound of A and Ah. So let's exhale with an HA. Ha. And one more. Ha. And lower the feet down, straighten the legs out for another minute of Shavasana. Tune in now to the deeper energetic effects of our hip twist practice this morning. Notice if you're holding any residual tension and allow yourself to descend about 5 layers. So I'm street level right now. Maybe there's a parking sub-level and then a sub-level I can drop into. And in particular, feel that space between the shoulder blades, a little below the shoulder blades, above the bra line. It's basically behind the heart, the back door of the heart, Katie. Can you sink a little more and then rest in the support of Mother Earth? Feel that vibratory quality. We're always connected when we pay attention. So now bring your attention to the breath and begin to deepen the inhalation as you wiggle fingers and toes. Exhale. On your next inhale, reach the arms overhead, rotating into the wrists. Point through the toes, get nice and long, and as you exhale, bring the arms down by your side, bend the right knee and the left knee, pressing both feet into the floor. Take a breath here and feel that stability. And then draw the right and left knee in towards the chest. Come back into your happy baby pose and perhaps feel so much more ease. So much so that maybe you can keep your hold of your feet and rock up to a seated pose. Maybe not. You might need to release the feet and roll on up. Let's finish up here this morning then. And I hope that you all will show up and join me for an hour on Saturday morning from 9 till 10 of an active Vini-Yoga flow. So I'm a yoga therapist. My name is Linda Prochet, and I keep it safe, but I challenge you. I challenge your body. I challenge your heart. I challenge your energy and your spirit. So it's a beautiful way to start the Saturday morning. So let's finish up together. Palms to the heart. Let the chin drop gently towards the chest. Gratitude for the way in which this beautiful earth supports us, in the possibilities that open up for us at all times when we pay attention. Sweep the arms wide and up as we inhale. Exhale, palms to the heart. And let's close here sweetly with a namaste and aloha. Thank you.